Well, big day today. We're seeing the renderings of this new building. I'm just curious, this has been a journey to get here. Talk to me about just this process of now we're finally getting some insight into what this building's going to look like.
Well, it's exciting. It's exciting. I think when you see the building and you see the vision for the building, you'll be able to picture some of the activities that will be happening, the vibrancy, the electricity, all of the emotions that people will be experiencing when they're actually on campus and get to interact with this beautiful piece of art.
Mm-hmm. And the building itself is such a piece of art. What was the conversations like when the building was being designed and what you guys were kind of hoping for the building? I'm curious because it's so beautiful. Like, did you guys have a lot of insight into, oh, we would love this or we would want this to look this way?
Well, we definitely, with our choice of architects, we definitely wanted an iconic building. Mm-hmm. And big Bjarke Engels Group and the team at William Rahn and Hastings have certainly delivered that. This is an iconic building. It is a special piece of architecture. I do believe that people will want to interact and see the building even if they aren't attending a show. It will be something that our community can be really proud of having on our East Bank.
I mean, talk about location. I mean, you have the bridge right there. You have the bridge building, the new Nissan Stadium. Talk to me about just seeing the moment where it's like, oh, you see Broadway and then you see the building. I mean, this is, you could say iconic. This is iconic, the entire thing.
It's incredibly exciting to be a part of the East Bank for so many reasons. I love the synergy between arts and culture and sports and entertainment. I also love the idea of building a new neighborhood, but the presence and visibility of this building right next to our pedestrian bridge is going to be amazing. You are going to see just sort of a testament to arts and culture and the city's values and what we care about as a community right on our skyline. It's going to be incredible.
I mean, it is kind of changing the skyline, but this is really an anchor in the East Bank. It's an anchor in the arts here. What's that feeling like for you guys? Is there a kind of pressure with that, dealing with you're representing all of arts here in Nashville?
Well, I will say that we're excited to have this presence and visibility to expand the arts community here. There's so much work going on all over the city. And so if we can raise the profile of TPAC and everything that's going on in our building, then we also raise the profile of arts and culture across the community. You might come and interact with TPAC and think, what else is happening here? And you might go see a great show at Oz, or you might go over to the Symphony, or you might go and check something out in one of the East Nashville neighborhoods. You know, there's great shows happening at Riverside Revival. There's wonderful, resident company, smaller shows are happening at their center. There's amazing things at the Fisher Center. So what we want to do is be part of this ecosystem of arts and culture across our community and raise the profile for arts everywhere.
And we'll get back to kind of the building itself in a minute, but I want to talk about this current building that we've been in. This is where TPAC was really born, and this is what everybody thinks of. What's it like kind of walking through the halls now, walking through the theaters, thinking, oh, we're only going to be here for a little bit longer before we transform into this new chapter?
It's a little bittersweet. This building, this location, this opportunity that the state of Tennessee gave to Tennessee Performing Arts Center 45 years ago has served the state and city incredibly well, and we honor it. We're grateful to be able to have had this space to grow and to expand and to see so many kids come through our doors and experience arts and entertainment for the very first time sitting in our theater seats. We love the experience. So many of our patrons talk about seeing their first show and then coming back year and year and year after year and sitting in these seats that we have subscribers that have kept their seats for 40 plus years. So it's really, we love this building. We love what it's done for us, and we're honored to have the opportunity to move to the next chapter, but we wouldn't have been able to take this opportunity if we hadn't had this incredible foundation.
And you're really the woman behind the machine here of TPAC. Talk to me about what a favorite moment of yours here in this building. I'd really love to reflect on this journey of yours as you've been in charge. Do you have something that sticks out to you over time?
I would say probably New Year's Eve, so 2019. we had our first Hamilton engagement here. And I was in the audience. It was opening night, and I had just seen Hamilton a couple weeks ago in another market, and I have been to Hamilton before that even. But the energy and the excitement in the audience was outstanding, and you just felt it across the audience. You felt this energy, and I really looked around and thought, there's something special to this audience in Nashville. There's something special to Nashville audiences in particular. And I talked to the cast later about that, and they said they could feel it, and they were feeding off of it, and their performance was looser, their performance was a little bit more energetic because they were feeding off the audience. And that said a couple things to me. First, we have amazing audiences here in Nashville, but it also talked to me about the relationship between the artist and the audience, and how important that is for that connection to happen. And when it does happen and it's really magical, I don't think anyone forgets those experiences, and the artists are included in that.
I mean, there is such a rich audience here for theater. I feel like people, sometimes you always think of country music when it comes to Nashville, but there's such a deep community for theater here. Is that something that you feel excited to carry on? Do you think that's going to just continue growing as you move into this new space?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, theater companies are doing incredible work here. You can see it across our city, not just the ones that are performing at TPAC, but the ones that are performing across the community. And I think everyone has an interest in seeing more opportunities come to Nashville. We were so fortunate as a community to have the pre-Broadway engagement of Dolly at the Fisher Center. Those type of opportunities, those are something that Nashville is ready for. We have the opportunity to really be on a national stage when it comes to the art that we're creating here in our community, or that we're bringing to our community.
And does that kind of lean into the legacy that you guys are trying to create with this? And because we're closing this chapter of this building that has its own legacy, but now you're carrying the torch into this new one this is where people are going to see their first shows. This is going to be where families are bonding. What does that legacy look like to you in the future?
It looks less like a legacy and more just like a continuation, because this building will be around for the next several generations. We're talking 100-year building here. And so, it just is a continuation of what we've already been able to accomplish here. And so I don't know if legacy is the word we're thinking of. I think legacy, we focus on the women, Martha Ingram and the group of dedicated community supporters that got it started in the first place. And we're just the continuing thread that continues to keep it going, and someday we'll pass it off to the next steward and the next, and we'll just keep it moving, because it really is built for the community, by the community.
And obviously you guys have put a lot of care into this process. I want people to kind of understand the work that it takes to make this happen. What does that kind of look like? It's a lot of conversations, it's a lot of just love for this whole community. What does that look like for you guys? When we first started this process, it was a lot of research, really understanding, what was working well here, what were the opportunities of going to a new space, what type of improvements could we have for our artists, for our patrons. We could build something that had more accessibility, more connection. We could build a venue that allowed us to bring shows in easier, that had a better amenities, better bathrooms. I think everyone would be excited about that. And there was a lot of opportunity, but we had to do the work. So we did a number of studies. We engaged our resident companies from the very beginning in the process. We have a committed group of board members, but also community volunteers that have served in various capacities on all aspects of the project. So it truly has been a team effort. And then with our partnership with the state and the partnership with Metro Nashville, it has all of the hallmarks of an incredible public-private partnership. And when it comes to the building itself, again, I'm curious if you can give some teasers of like the big things that are going to be changing that people will really feel, and down to the small ones too. I'm curious what the
Sure.
like the fun things that we can look forward to with it all.
Okay, well, the thing that I think TPAC, the organization, is most excited about is the expanded loading dock.
I'm sure.
We have so many challenges that we have to shut down. We have to shut down the road to get into the loading dock, and we have to bring a wrecker in to lift the trucks. So having 3 loading bays is going to be just absolutely luxurious for our tech team, our artists, and our touring Broadway shows and our resident company load-ins. But I think from a physical standpoint, we're excited to have a bit of a front door. So we have a front yard. So we'll have some plaza space that is going to be very welcoming. There's opportunities to do outdoor plaza performances. It's going to be a place where you can just sit, play with your kids, have a picnic. You can go to events. We're going to be programming the outdoors. And this is a plaza not only on the main entry level off Victory Avenue, but there's also going to be a plaza entrance off the pedestrian bridge. So that will be activated as well. And you can actually get off the pedestrian bridge and around the entire building. So there is really no back door to the building. All of the loading capacity is underneath the pedestrian bridge. So this is a building that really doesn't have a back door. You can interact and you can move all the way around it. So I think what patrons will really enjoy is the access. If you're going to something in the building, it will be easy to get to the building and easy to move around. But if you're not going to the building, I think it's just going to be a beautiful piece of architecture that you're going to enjoy interacting with, and it will be a destination whether you're attending a show or not.
Well, I'm curious when it comes to, we drive past all the construction all the time in Nashville, and then when you can now conceptualize the new Titan Stadium because you can see it.
Yes.
Is that crazy for you when you're driving to work, for instance, and you see the space where this building's going to be? Is that hard for you to realize, like, that's where we're going to be in a few years? Like, what is that like for you?
Well, I live in East Nashville, so I do drive past the Titan
You
Stadium
cross it every day,
every single day. So I drive past it, and it's exciting to see the progress happening. And I think for the entire East Bank, Oracle and the scrapyard and everything that Fallon and the Titans are doing, and then we'll be joining them. I just keep looking at this blank canvas, and I'm so excited to see how it's going to transform. It's going to look completely different in the next 5 to 10 years, and that's exciting. So I'm sort of looking at it as a whole, like, how is this all going to change? How is this all going to develop? And we couldn't be more thrilled and delighted to be a part of that.
And you talked about kind of the national profile of this being something that will be well known around the country. What does that do in terms of getting shows, getting visitors to come to this? What does that look like for you guys? Does it make it easier, more of a challenge? Does it open up doors?
Absolutely. I think what we've noticed too, what really has been opening up doors for us, especially when it comes to touring shows, is the commitment and dedication of our subscribers. Our subscribers have been hanging in there. They have been coming back year after year. We have been growing our subscriber base. And when you have such a strong, healthy, vibrant subscriber base, then the shows start to take notice. And the shows, we start getting shows earlier. We start getting, shows in the first run of the tour. So the subscriber base has really come through for us. And so that is due to all of you. That's due to the patrons and the people that come and spend time with us. But I think, yes, the visibility, that this will be a place that artists will be dreaming about playing in. This will be another, iconic stage in an already iconic city. So I can't wait for what's to come. And performing arts centers aren't built every day. You build theaters or you might build a standalone building, but this is a multi-venue campus. So that's very, very exciting.
And that was going to be my next question, is talking about the venue options here. What does that look like? How many are there going to be? And who, partnership-wise, what does that look like for other visitors, I guess, and for other people in Nashville?
Sure. So we're pretty much replicating what we have here with some modifications, making things a little bit more spacious, a little bit more accessible.
Everyone can stretch out.
Yes, yes, and better bathrooms and all of those things. So we'll have the three major venues, similar to what we have here. We'll have a Broadway hall, we'll have a medium-sized hall, and then we'll have a flexible space. The flexible space will have more of a presence. It will come sort of out of the basement where Johnson currently is, and it will be accessible right off the bridge level, and it's going to be a little bit larger and have the capacity to do a few more things. And then we're also adding a 150-seat cabaret, which we're very excited about.
That's very cool.
Yes.
I think that'll be really fun.
Yes, and that is just a permanent set stage so that we can easily transition the room, and we can, bring performers, artists. We could do pre-show, we could do standalone performances, we could do post-show. So that's going to be a great, busy, active room. And then we have 3 rehearsal studios that also can be performance equipped. So you can also do smaller shows in that. We can do shows outside. So there's a capacity to service a lot more artists and artist groups in this building than we've had the ability to do in TPAC. And we're very excited about that. We've been working with several local groups over the years, and we're excited to be able to expand that access for local arts to have a place to perform.
I mean, that's incredible. That's so many things. That's so exciting for you guys. And you mentioned that performing arts centers don't happen every day.
No.
This is like a once in a lifetime kind of thing for someone in your career path. And all the work that you put into it, I know, has been such an undertaking. So I'm just curious if you can fast forward in your brain to that opening night. Just what do you think is going to go through your mind?
How much sleep I can get afterwards. No, I mean, it will just be, really, this is such a team. It's such a team effort. I cannot understate how important our board of directors and some of our community members and the ones that have participated heavily in this experience, all of our partners, the state, the city, the resident companies, the TPAC organization. I mean, everybody is working so hard to make this happen. So I think there will be a collective sigh of relief across the state of Tennessee when this building finally goes up and we can all celebrate, because so many people have had an important part of this.
Is there anything that you'd like to talk about that I didn't ask you?
I think what we are most excited about being able to continue serving the students and the kids in our community, because seeing a show for the first time is just such an incredible experience. You never know what's going to happen or what that's going to spark in a young mind to be able to be exposed to the arts. So not only will we be able to bring, more kids, more performances, but we'll have the ability to expand our education, our community programs, arts and wellness, our camps, all of the things that we've truly been doing, with the ability that we have, that will be expanded, and we'll be able to do so much more, and we're so excited.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. It's an exciting day.